Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 186 of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, we talk about video game and movie news, as well as we watched or played over the week. My name is Barry, along with my fellow blood-pumping American football watchers.
There we go.
This is Craig. I watch football and I love football. My name's Craig.
Name is also Craig. Blood pressure's high, but it's okay. We're still here recording, no matter what.
Yep.
No matter what
football
game's on.
Football doesn't get in the way of the podcast.
It
Nope.
doesn't.
You know what else doesn't get in the way of the podcast, Barry?
Oh,
I do happen to know it's the news. The news. Well done. You.
Yep.
I set it up. You put it
Segue.
away. Thanks.
Yep.
That's what we needed.
Oh,
That's what we
Alright.
call an alley-oop.
yeah, it was.
And talk
was-
about trailers this
Yeah.
week. It is trailer
Holy.
after trailer after trailer. I can't remember in recent memory how many trailers we're supposed to be getting. So we'll talk about the most important one here. Halo Season 2 is the most important one, getting a trailer
Yep.
and
Knew
a
it.
release date for
Yep.
February of next year. I thought the ending of the first season was cool. It was definitely like a weaker season, it felt like, but the moment it felt like we were getting the Master Chief we all know, I was like, okay, this ending kind of left a better taste in my mouth since then. But yeah, there's nothing else to talk about, right? No other trailers. It was just that one.
I'm surprised
Uh,
it got renewed.
I'm not. Halo's
Yeah.
a big franchise.
It is. Yeah, it'll find its
Yeah.
way into
I guess.
renewability.
And now that I've gotten the funny part out of the way, the real trailer of the century is actually the Fallout 76 trailer or Fallout.
Just
Fallout trailer. Sorry, I have to find a way to mention that game somehow in every
Just
single
Fallout.
podcast. The Fallout trailer, which apparently a lot of people are excited for. I watched the trailer. It doesn't look like a bad trailer, but I'm sorry, but after Fallout 76, anything related to the name Fallout gives me PTSD.
Oh, you're dropping off everything Fallout?
I'm gonna watch the show. Like, I'll
Okay.
be honest, but like, I hear Fallout and I'm like, oh, it's gonna suck, is what it's gonna do. But hopefully it doesn't. To be completely honest, I hope it doesn't.
Well, they can build off of 76. There's really how can you go down from that?
I think it looks good, honestly. There's a lot of stuff in the trailer that I saw that I was like, yeah, that looks good. It's Amazon, right?
Mhm.
So like they're throwing a ton of money at it. You can tell. It looks high budget. I think I'm excited. I think it's gonna be good.
I have a question for you too. For the hundreds of thousands of people at home who are listening and watching us, and also for the hundreds and thousands of people who are listening and watching us who have only played Fallout New Vegas for 3 hours specifically, what Fallout would you guys say to play, or do we wait?
That looks like 3 to me. It reminds me of 3 or maybe 4.
Okay.
3 and 4 by far the most popular. I would say 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
4's good. That trailer reminds me of 4 for sure. But yeah, I mean 3. Going back and playing 3 now might be kind of rough. Honestly,
Okay.
it's a little dated.
So don't start with 76 though.
No.
Okay.
They just got a new expansion, right? Atlantic City or something.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned like 76 because I got into I shouldn't say an argument with a friend the other day about how like he was asking why I thought it sucked, and I went, well, like Todd Howard is associated with this. Todd Howard does 2 things: he over delivers and under promises. That is what he does, and he is he's like some sort of creative person on this show. So now that he's associated with the show, it sucks. And I was mostly like kidding. I wasn't really being serious. But he was telling me, well, isn't Fallout 76 good right now? And I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's good now. It was really bad when it came out.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
And it didn't get fixed for years. It's different in certain cases with games that we'll talk about later. But that game, I imagine, still has issues probably to this day. That game was beyond broken when we first loaded it up.
True.
That's why if you're still playing it, all power to you, but not me. If I had a physical edition of that game, I'd snap it. I want to leave some of the other trailers for you, but for you guys, so I'll leave like actually some of the bigger ones. But I have to mention, not a trailer, but we got a picture that they said Sonic 3 is coming out December of next year,
Hmm.
which I'm super excited for because the model looked pretty, like, it doesn't show Shadow, but it shows like its shoes, and I was like, okay, this looks pretty good. And on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, too, at the bottom of the little, I'm not sure what you call them, like the things where that they snap in front of a camera and go take blah 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 this scene blah, and then they snap it and walk away. Does anybody know what that's called?
I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't either.
um but on that, in the image on the very bottom, the logo is the same logo for Sonic Adventure 2, just with Sonic 3 on it. So I'm hoping that we're getting some cool stuff maybe with Sonic Adventure 2, just because I don't think we're getting Eggman in this one with Jim Carrey, so maybe it's
Hmm.
Shadow, the
Yeah.
Hedgehog, and whatever the what was it called? Chaos was its name.
Chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
Shadow would make sense, right? As
Yeah,
as a villain, maybe.
yeah, I just know like the whole point of it, and in other Sonic games we're getting into Sonic lore now. Um but they actually don't really hate each other. And in the end, they kind of end up working together. The main villain of Sonic Adventure 2 was Chaos, not
Mhm.
so much Shadow, but it is a fun antagonist that I think they'll have fun with. But I'll leave that. That's it for trailers, is what I'll talk about. And then lastly, all I have is Beyond Good and Evil 2 is getting a 20th anniversary edition coming out, and if that doesn't scream we're getting something
Mm-hmm.
about Beyond Good and Evil 2, like whether it's this week with the Game Awards or in the very near future, I don't know what is, like, what else there is. So
And also was accidentally released too.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you
that's
were
right.
quick enough, you could have bought it on the store, which I thought was hilarious. That's their way of confirming it, is they accidentally hit the button to put it live on the store.
It's
I mean, I'll be buying that.
yeah.
I don't
I,
know
I
about you.
I
You
think
guys
I
think it's
will.
something we're going to be able to play, like, after the Game Awards, like there's an announcement for it and it goes available now,
I hope
kind
so.
of deal?
I mean, if they
Yeah.
already had it on the store by accident, it's done.
Hmm.
So like they could put it out anytime.
Yeah. I'm also assuming that a release button like that, like you were talking about, Craig, is just one of those big red buttons that somebody accidentally just bumped
They hit
against on their.
enter on their keyboard accidentally.
Yeah.
I
Um,
don't know if like I didn't see anything as far as like anybody actually grabbed it and got to like play it. If it's like remaster, it doesn't sound like it. It kind of sounds like it's just like a reissue. Like I have it on my Xbox. I bought it forever ago, and that wasn't remastered. It was just like upscale. 1080
mhm.
maybe. Um, so it depends on what it comes with, but I'll probably buy it regardless because it's in my top. We'll say top 25 of all time, probably. I gotta be generous.
Yeah. But yeah, so if any of the trailers we forget, I'll go ahead and mention them at the end. But I'll let you guys get into some of the news. See what you guys think.
What about Lego Fortnite?
Yes.
Didn't expect you to go there.
I'm
But
glad you
yeah,
did.
that is the next biggest thing on the pecking order.
Yeah, I saw like a little like quick thing the other day, and then I saw everybody reacting to it, and then it so happened to be when I was on like my TikTok last night right before I went to bed. Every single live was Lego Fortnite, people streaming Lego Fortnite. Seems cool, I guess. I didn't really dig into it too much. It seems like all the characters are Lego versions, right? And the
Hmm.
building is like Lego building. That's kind of cool. It kind of makes sense, right?
Just the long list of Fortnite finding amazing collabs,
Mm-hmm.
and also kind of like right after the Eminem concert,
Yeah,
which I've heard a lot of people weren't able to actually see because servers are going to be servers during high traffic
Yeah.
times like that. But
I still haven't done one of those Fortnite events.
I haven't either.
I feel
Well,
like I
they're always
should.
in the. I feel like they're always in the afternoon where people are working, or at least I'm working. Some people aren't
Mm-hmm.
working clearly because they can go to it. But
Hold on,
lucky
I'll
them.
be back in half hour, guys. I'll be back to work. I got to go to this Fortnite concert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the best
you guys
lunch
make
break
it to
ever.
the Fortnite concert.
Yeah,
They seem like a good time, so I feel like I should check one
me
out, but
too.
I always forget when they are, and then I don't have Fortnite installed, and then it's just a whole mess.
Yeah,
Um,
I heard the Ariana Grande one was amazing as well. I'm a middle Ariana Grande fan. I like some of her stuff, so I don't know. I don't know why I chimed in with that, but go ahead, Craig.
the other trailer that I have is a trailer that's not a trailer yet. It's just coming Tuesday. Is that the one we're all waiting on?
I
Good
believe that's the one I have.
old Grand Theft Auto.
Let's go.
Tuesday at what time is it? 10 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m.
I think it was
9
9 a.m.
a.m.
Pacific.
Nope, 9 a.m.
Oh,
EST.
Oh,
is
9
it 9?
a.m.
Okay.
Okay. Um, what do we want out of this trailer? I saw the leak. There was a leak from one of the workers' son, which I thought was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, what do we want? As far as we know, what we've heard a couple rumors, right? Multiple protagonists that you can switch back and forth, kind of a Bonnie and Clyde thing. I've heard it's like I've heard so many different things. I've heard Vice City. I've heard now it starts in Vice City, then it goes to another island, maybe. But what do we want? Does it
Uh, f-
matter?
well, that's it's funny you mentioned that because like I kind of got flamed online
Mm-hmm.
this week for mentioning that like the trailer could be like a screenshot of the city and
Mm-hmm.
people would lose their minds.
Yeah.
Just
True.
because that's how anticipated this game is for everybody. I just hope like we get something with maybe who the characters are and maybe an idea where it is. That's all I'd ask. It doesn't have to show
Yeah.
really too much, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm with you on that, Barry. I'm all location. I just need to see what are we doing, what's different, where are we going, where are we starting, that type of thing. Um, I remember being a kid when oh my god, not Vice City, but what's the one after it? What's the Grand Theft Auto
San
after?
Andreas.
Thank you. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. When San Andreas came out, and you know how you spend the majority of that the beginning in the city, and then it opens up into this vast world, that type of thing. I want some of that childlike wonderment. Or if they can pull what Tears of the Kingdom pulled, which is show one portion of where you're going and leave out a completely different one. So when the game arrives, you're just blown away, maybe halfway, midway, even towards the beginning through the game. That's kind of what I would like. I know they have an algorithm that works. A lot of us like how Grand Theft Auto just flows.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they introduce something new, quality of life, that would be cool. Or something that I would like to be surprised. Maybe there's something I'm not thinking about that we see in the trailer that's like, holy crap, like
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that in Grand Theft Auto, but I'm glad.
Um, I mean, the rumors are swirling, obviously, and they're going to. But as far as like what I saw these past couple weeks, as far as what seems legitimate, and what doesn't, I'll throw one out there that I read that I thought seemed legitimate. So if you don't want to know, I guess plug your ears because maybe I'm right, maybe I'm not. But the one I read was starts in Vice City, then goes to a different city, smaller city than we're anticipating, but more densely packed, which would be cool. But the
Hmm.
big thing that I read, which kind of is like, it sounds so ridiculous that I wouldn't be surprised if it's true, is money and also cryptocurrency in the game. But the fact that your money you take back to either the bank or stash houses, your stash houses can get raided and your money can burn and you'll lose it. That sounds so ridiculous. It sounds like something Rockstar would do. To
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
like, you could stash your cash somewhere, but if another player finds it, they can burn it and you'll lose it, or they can just take it. Um, that sounds like something they would do. And
And
cryptocurrency definitely sounds like something they would do.
Most
yeah.
definitely.
And you mean like with the online aspect, that's something they could do? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was my next question. Was it something that a character does story based, and then
I
but
think online.
in addition to being
Yeah.
multiplayer?
Right. And yeah, and again, maybe it's both. Maybe it's like, oh, in the main story, you're going to go raid somebody's cash house, or you're going to go burn all their money, or something stupid. But then when you're playing online, and they did say that you could. What I read too was you could hire security for your cash houses. That's not totally sounds like something they
It'd
would
be
do
that
in
yeah, that
online.
would be a cool like raid component, or like
Yeah,
maybe building up upon the heist portion of,
right.
instead of heist against a computer, now you're doing the PvP.
Or like Craig and I hop on and we're like, hey, we're gonna go raid Barry's cash house.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Don't tell him. Don't text him and tell him we're online. He didn't pay his security this month.
Yeah, right. I couldn't afford it.
I don't know about you guys, but I really, as of now, I could care less about the online. Like, I really want a good story.
Yeah, I wasn't an online person anyway. I'm also,
Yeah.
I mean, the three of us on this platform love story-based games anyway.
Mhm.
We do like multiplayer, but like we love a thrilling story. So that's what I'm kind of hoping Rockstar continues to deliver, like they have in essentially all of their installments.
Yeah.
To be honest
Yep.
with you, I'm
Yeah.
also a
They
big
don't
fan.
miss.
If we start in Vice City, that was my favorite Grand Theft Auto, by the way. So
Hmm.
yeah, with
I
yeah.
agree. That's my favorite as well. Last thing I have, got to bring this up because we all knew it was coming. EA is working on player voiced characters. How do we feel about that?
It feels kind of weird. I do get that, like it kind of feels like AI taking that next step that maybe we don't want it to
Mhm.
take.
Yep.
Uh, I do understand for the most part, like the whole you get to involve yourself in the medium even more.
Hmm.
You know, imagine if you would, like, we take VR kind of really seriously. We add this kind of voice learning program that learns our voice. It's pretty much like us being in a game.
Yeah.
And the more connected you feel to a game, of course, this is EA. The more
Hmm.
connected you feel, the more money you're willing to spend.
Right.
So that's the loop I'm waiting for. It's like, oh, we can do this, but guess what? It's for a live service game. That's going to cost you.
Would you pay $20 to voice to have your, let's say you pay $20 and then there's a series of sentences that you have to say and then the AI in that point fills in the rest and just fully voices a character in your voice the rest of the game? Would you pay for it to hear yourself?
I guess I think it's a neat idea that I'd pay for maybe once or twice
Okay.
to see. But I'd also want to like see how other people are doing it. I wouldn't be the first to jump on the train. I'd want to see, like, is it actually good? I guess is
What's
what.
what's the most money you would pay to voice a Kingdom Hearts character?
Of
And
course,
then
There's the
I should have known.
question. Thank you, Craig. There's the question of the year.
or Persona. What about Persona? What's the max you would pay to voice Sora? Would you want
It,
Sora's voice different?
no, it's fine the way it is. But like you
What
could
about
tell me I could do like voice line or something like that, and like be a part of that universe.
Mhm.
I'd probably pay. I
would you
hate
Okay,
to say this. I'm probably pay at least $150 to $200.
would you pay more to do Riku or to do your own character in Organization 13?
I do my own like character thing. I wouldn't even care if it's like a minor character or something like
okay,
that. I wouldn't want to
okay.
mess with like the main cast because I've already kind of grown to like them all. Uh, but that would be really cool. Like just to have that experience.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong,
Uh-oh.
but Persona, right?
Yeah,
Main character doesn't talk, right?
yeah, no, yeah,
So how much would
Yeah.
you pay for the main character in the next Persona to be your voice?
Oh man. I would pay
Because
something. I would pay some things. I would.
yeah,
I'm
would
not
you
joking. I'm not even being facetious. I would. I would
yeah.
50
probably pay.
bucks? What if they came out and they're like, all right, Persona 6, 69.99. Collector's edition is 249.99. Comes with the statue and you can put your voice in the game. Are you paying it?
Done, done.
Done.
Okay. All right,
Where do I pay?
249.
Where do I pay? I hope my
Take
money
my
hasn't been
card.
burned. Yeah.
All right. I think like I look at it as it's a slippery slope, but
Absolutely.
I feel like it has potential. Like we all know that like you can read a set amount of lines and AI can then go through and fully populate everything, right? So I look at it as like they're on a roll with the Dead Space remake. What if they make another Dead Space and I get to voice the character for $20? I'm probably doing it.
Mm-hmm.
more than likely. But part of me also feels bad for voice actors that
Yes.
this could
Yeah.
Yeah,
potentially
that's true.
like make them lose jobs because now we're all like, nah, I want my voice. I don't
Well,
really
and
want to
it.
hear my voice all the time though.
Yeah. No. And
Oh,
it's kind of the
also
same.
that. Also
Yeah.
that. People's most hated voice is normally their own. We don't like
What
listening
about
to ourselves.
like I wouldn't do it in like a Call of Duty. I could care less.
I just
Boy,
want.
Soap, get over
I,
here.
that's what I was.
Get over here, Soap. What kind of hell the name is Soap anyway?
Barry, I'm glad you went there because like what popped in my head is I just want to yell things at soap. Like
But I think something like Persona is a golden idea.
Yeah, because it's a game
oh,
that's like constantly talking all of the time.
Yeah.
Craig, would you say it's a Persona 4 Golden idea? Is that what you're
I
saying?
was just gonna leave it at golden, yes. That's all I had. I'll leave it at that. Now that he's fully in the dad joke mode.
Let me compose myself. Um, I guess the trailer that I was going to talk about was Resident Evil 4 VR
Mm-hmm.
is getting on December 8th. We have an announcement that it is coming out. It's going to be a free update for PS5 users, and as guessed, it's going to be compatible on the second VR headset for PlayStation.
Oh darn
I,
it, those iPhone 15 users. Gosh darn
yeah.
it. They
But
can't strap a phone to their
I
face.
already have Resident Evil 4 VR in my Oculus. It's not the
Oh, as do
remake,
I.
but I already have it.
Yeah, which falls into the trap of gamers, which is it's not essentially the Skyrim or Last of Us problem, but it kind of is in a different realm of problem that we have where this kind of stuff happens. It should be good. I would have to muster up the courage to play it because I'm not really a VR first person shooter. First person horror
Yeah.
kind of guy. I know my wife would definitely love something like that, but not necessarily. I don't know if I would have the stomach for it. Barry, I know that would be your type of game, definitely, which is why I've already bought it for you. Not
Oh,
Yeah.
so
have you now? Yeah.
Yep. He's been waiting to buy the new PSVR headset for this. So he can play through this and Resident Evil 8 in VR.
Oh my god, the baby scene. How many times a year do you think we talk about the Resident
Oh my
Evil 8 baby
god.
scene?
So many. It's iconic.
I bet it is.
It's
I don't
just
think
nowhere.
about it just so we're clear. I let that one go.
He burned it out of his brain a long time ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I had two other things, and I'll let you get back to the trailers that we missed, Barry. The first thing would be the Cyberpunk 2077 2.1, the update 2.1, and the features that are going to follow with that. So obviously, a lot has been put into Cyberpunk 2077 by CD Projekt Red. What this update is bringing is it's going to be bringing the metro system to Cyberpunk, which I didn't even realize that I was forgetting to see. So it's going to be a new transit system to be able to utilize to get across the city. I didn't even notice, but there is all of those rails that are essentially unused above a large part of the city. And if you're like me and ignored it because there wasn't really any movement there, that's going to be used. Other things that are being released are replayable car races, boss fight improvements, specifically to I don't know if I want to ruin it, but it's part of the normal portion of the game. But Adam Smasher, a couple of new guns, and then I think with the car races, you're also getting rewards and stuff through the net system there. So they're introducing a bunch of stuff. Uh, I'm excited. I specifically connected with this because I'm replaying Cyberpunk currently at the moment. I don't know how excited you guys are, Barry. I know you're done with the DLC and the game, right? After your
No,
replay. Oh,
so
you're not.
well, we're gonna talk about it with the games I play this week, but I am not done with Cyberpunk just yet.
Oh, I saw you playing it a lot.
Yeah, I've been playing it a lot, that's for sure.
That makes two of us.
But the other and I guess most important feature that Craig forgot to mention is that there are now opportunities to hang out with your significant
Oh
other in
yes.
the game more. Like it's
Oh,
not just the whole I I don't know what they entail. They haven't said what it entails. Um, but yeah, the one thing that I wish that Cyberpunk like did, or had added to it yet, it's just the ability to have your partner like go with you on missions. Just like the feel of that. Just because for the most part right now it's just the you do the missions with them and then they're kind of off in their own world while you're doing everything else. So even if it's an option to like say no to them coming or say yes, like having the option's a good thing. Uh, but it's just one of these things where you think that that would be like a almost a no brainer for CD Projekt Red to have that. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what this entails, but I don't think it does. It sounds like it's just hanging out. I don't know what you do with your imaginary girlfriend from the game.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody who's still annoyed that he cannot romance Panam because he always chooses to be a lady in video games. Um, Not that there's anything against Judy, but and I forget who else. You can do River, Judy,
River, you have
Panam.
to be River. You have to be a male.
River, you have to be a male as well, and then there's a fourth that I'm forgetting.
Pan
But
Am's who I chose.
Pan Am is also who I chose.
I was
It's either
I
Judy or Pan Am. It's one of the
it
two.
it really is, to be honest with you.
I
So I'll
do
be
kind of feel
romancing
like
Judy.
that makes sense because if I remember correctly, there is kind of a build up towards the scene that you get with whatever character, but then after that you're just kind of done.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
And I was just kind of like, oh, that's it. All right,
I
whatever.
mean, in all honesty, Pan Am has the craziest missions for
Hmm.
her romance anyway. So even if you're not romancing her, you want to do them. Like her missions are insane
Yeah,
in
that's true.
comparison.
Yeah.
Um, the last thing I had was Bethesda flexing their reaction muscles. So obviously, Starfield has had a since negative review after the overwhelmingly positive critical review when it first came out. Before we all got our hands on it, and a lot of us, like the three of us, have decided to stop playing it after the respective hours that we put into it. But obviously, the comments of people who have put maybe more or who are still playing it are continued to flow in. What Bethesda's team has done is responded to specific ones, and they are quite hilarious. One, I'll just read the particular comment was to it being boring and overrated for a player that played like 56 hours of it. And Bethesda's response is, "Thank you for the time of leaving a review of Starfield. We are sorry that you do not like landing on different planets and are finding many of them empty," which is part of the comment that I chose not to read because it was a long comment. "Some of Starfield's planets are meant to be empty by design, but that's not boring. When astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there. They certainly weren't bored."
Yeah.
Now, that's one.
Got
Uh,
him.
I don't know. There's a bunch of them. I one of them. If I could just go back to that, you cannot equate playing a video game and landing on planets and thinking it's boring to humanity
Yeah.
landing on the moon, which was unobtainable for a lot of years, even though we could see the moon on most nights, depending on clouds and lights in, or if you were living in this city or whatever. You cannot compare the both there. Um, I don't know. There's another one where they responded to a negative review for a player who couldn't get over Starfield's loading screens. "Thank you for taking the time to provide your review. We're sorry to hear that you were disappointed with encountering many loading screens. While there may be loading screens in between fast traveling, just consider the amount of data for the expansive gameplay that is procedurally generated to load flawlessly in under 3 seconds. We believe this shortcoming will not hinder our players from getting lost in the world that we created." So you can read the rest online. All you got to do is just Google Starfield or Bethesda's response to Starfield negativity. But the response, I for one don't hate when a studio responds to negative feedback. I just don't like Bethesda's responses because essentially what they're trying to tell us is have fun. We did this for you. And there is a way to respond to criticism, especially player and review criticism. I would even eliminate like professional criticism and specific player criticism. There is a way to respond. There is a political and tactical way to respond. And Bethesda, I do not think has. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the other comments or if you guys have anything about those particular reactions.
I think you just let it go, Bethesda. You don't you don't need to respond.
Yeah, and like just something to build off of that too, like with all the of course there's a lot of negativity. Did you guys see what somebody did with like I think it was like somebody has played through New Game Plus on Starfield 32 times.
Whew.
Did you guys hear anything about this?
No.
So, I have no idea what Starfield's story is. It may have something to do with spoilers is what I'm about to say, so just keep in mind. But on the 30-second playthrough, we all played enough to go meet like the star, the
Oh, the
group that you join,
otherworldly,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or the group that you're supposed to join.
Star touched or star phased. There's something like
So
that.
Yeah.
so on the 30-second playthrough, and I have no idea what any of this means. His character met himself on the
Oh,
30-second playthrough.
that's
Um,
cool.
so
That's pretty sick.
I have no idea what any of that means, whether it's like different universes or twins, but the game actually responded
That's
uh
cool.
with like the
Wow.
girl that you first meet that's the head of this goes like, "Oh, do you have a twin?" And your character is facing the character you make and they're like, and I didn't get to see the rest of it, but it's one of these things where okay, Bethesda, I don't like you for your games as of late, but that right there, that's
That right
pretty
there.
cool. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that is pretty
Yeah,
sick.
good for somebody to be able to go through Starfield 32 times.
32. How
That.
many hours is that?
That's
Far too many.
I mean, they've have to have been playing that nonstop since it came out, right?
yeah, because like when you think about it, yeah, it came out in September,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of people, I mean, not a couple of people, whoever purchased specific versions had earlier access by 3 or 4 days. I meant a couple of
Right.
days, not a couple of people. But even between September and now, that's
I'm
a
gonna get a
lot of hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna get an actual playthrough. Well, how many he played through? Just to have an
That's
accurate.
crazy. I mean, I would think that like progressively, it's like I'm on my what was that third playthrough of Dead Space, right? This year. It got progressively faster each time I played it because I know where I'm going. It's easier because I'm overpowered. And that like it's probably the same thing. It's probably like you're cutting out hours every time because you're just doing the main story.
34. It was his 34th playthrough of
Okay.
it. Um, yeah, it's a cool little trailer. I definitely suggest people watch it. Like, I kind of wish, like the person was recording it, I guess, but it's not like a streamer or anything. So I would have
Okay.
loved to have seen his reaction to be
Yeah.
like,
Most definitely.
what
Yeah.
the hell was this? If it
Yeah.
if it truly came as a new surprise to him. Uh, but yeah,
That
so
100% sounds like something they would do.
yeah.
Bethesda.
Yeah. Oh, most
Mhm.
definitely.
But yeah, so then just a couple of the other things that we saw this week was I think really the only thing we missed, or no, two things. The Godzilla versus Kong trailer was also out today,
Mhm.
or Godzilla X Kong, or a New Empire United or something. Uh, big monsters fighting each other. Trailer looks cool. I'm cool with it. Sorry for the burp there. Lastly, a bit more about the GTA 6 trailer. I have no idea if companies are like joking or memeing what's going on with this, but we
Mhm.
also like the Halo Infinite team put up the same kind of color banner that GTA 6 did and then says that there's some sort of announcement coming
Yep.
tomorrow, December 4th.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's some sort of joke that I don't understand, but a bunch of game companies did it. I think Halo did. I think Fortnite did. I think Fall Guys. That's what it is. Fall Guys did as well. So it's like I don't know if they're just like following this haha funny trend or if it's like actually something happening. We'll see tomorrow. Uh, but just the power that GTA 6 has over everyone else. Just to, yeah, here's this very similar thing, and we're just
Yeah.
gonna do the same thing.
I mean, the whole world is waiting for Tuesday.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah, they
time this
are.
goes up, it'll be over. But like, I know I am. you best believe I'm there.
Yeah, and
YouTube's gonna crash.
yeah, and it's got like a Nintendo Direct time too, which is really interesting. So I'm interested to see how many people wake up. I'm just used to when I think 9 a.m. for a trailer or 9 a.m. for a release. I think Nintendo Direct most
You know what?
definitely.
We're gonna get a Nintendo Direct. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
We're gonna get a Nintendo Direct during this, so you have to choose.
That's
Uh,
literally when I start work on Tuesday, 9
there
a.m.
you go. There
I'm
you
a,
go.
hold on, can't work for the next
yeah,
3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, there you
right.
go.
So, did anybody else have anything they want to talk about before we head to games?
Uh-uh.
All right.
All good.
Games this week, everyone. As alluded to on my end, I have played a lot of Cyberpunk 2077. Uh, but and I'll get into what I'm kind of doing with that here in a minute. But what did you guys play?
Started some Remnant 2. And then the big one for me this week was I got my hands on a little game called Suicide Squad,
Oh yeah, the alpha.
Kill the Justice League.
Oh, I'm interested to see. I didn't know there
Mhm.
was an alpha.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I did a little bit of Remnant 2 as well, and I've been just playing Cyberpunk. So I could kind of piggyback what you've been doing, Barry, with what I've been doing.
Yeah, just keep in mind the next couple weeks, everyone is going to be kind of like, okay, we have the Avatar game coming out, what, the 7th, right?
Yep. This
The
weekend.
same day
Yep.
as the Game Awards. And with the intruder now removed from the premises of this podcast, we are now back after a very premature cut, which
Yes.
I had fun with in the editing. We had a visitor join the podcast, wanted to say a couple things about video games, and just walked right off set. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
regardless, it disconnected Craig's mic, but we are back. I'm just going to start at games again because the editing wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
I can't make it clean, so all I can do is make it funny.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll go back to games this week now. I
All
played
right.
Cyberpunk 2077, a heck of a lot of it. Played a little bit of FIFA this week, but I'm not going to talk about that. What did you guys play?
Remnant 2 for me, and then dug into some Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
There you go. All right, Remnant 2 for me, just a little bit, a little taste of it, and all Cyberpunk. All Cyberpunk.
Now, was the alpha something you got to like everybody got invited to, or you just happened to get chosen?
I got an email,
Oh, cool. Okay.
and then I had to like scour the email to make sure I'm allowed to say stuff. I think I am. If not, I'm sure they'll let us know.
Yeah, we'll get
There
there.
you
It's
go.
all right. So we'll talk about, I guess, probably the oldest game out of the bunch here, Cyberpunk 2077. It's reemergence, really, for Craig
Yeah.
and I here. I have been just because you unlock a new ending with Cyberpunk. I really wanted to dig into like the leveling of Cyberpunk this time around. So I was smart with my last playthrough and saved somewhere in between. Like, so I'm redoing Phantom Liberty at a higher level, and I'm also just going to complete the game at a higher level this time, just to see like what all the abilities change a lot of this game in your play style. I have to commend the game for how well it can adapt to my play style. If I want to be a dashing samurai stealth killer, I can do that. If I want to be a maniac with a gun, I can do that. If I want to be a cyberwared freako with
Yeah.
mantis blades, I can do that too. I have to give it to them for how crazy a lot of a lot of this game is and how adaptable it is. For the most part, I'm still enjoying my time with the game. This is the first time I've kind of went out of my way to do more of the missions, do more of the sub story stuff, and I've been having fun with it. A lot of it is a little bit repetitive, just because a lot of what you do are gigs, and these gigs are like kill this person, save this person, steal this, bug that sort of deal here, and a lot of them are the same. But I can play it however I want, which is, I guess, what I'm having so much fun with. Cyberpunk 2077 is definitely like, if there's a category for it, the redeemer of the year this time around for me. Uh, and the fact that they're putting, when we talked about it earlier, the new update, they could have just
Yeah,
stopped with all this, but we're getting
Mhm.
more Cyberpunk stuff, even if we didn't want it. I'm still having a lot of fun with Cyberpunk 2077. That is for sure.
I would
So
agree.
I have to give it to them. It's they created a fun world, and this fun world is now working pretty well. Let's see here. I only ran into one bug really, and that's I tried to call for my vehicles and they wouldn't get over there, and the game wouldn't let me save manually. So I had to do a main mission to get it to save auto, and then I could back out and do all of that. So yeah,
I ran
Cyberpunk
into the same bug.
2077. Oh yeah,
Well, I ran into the bug where when you restart it, if you restart the game, there's obviously a certain mission where your car gets totaled, and then you have to do a Delamain mission where he takes you around the
Yep.
whole facility and such like that. The bug is you're supposed to be waiting. There's a mission where you literally just wait for your car to get repaired, and I did 10 hours of gameplay.
yeah,
And the problem is that you can't call a car until you get your original car repaired because I did like the some of the missions where you get vehicles as a result and I couldn't call anything. So I looked online and the community's great. And then you have, a combination of Steam, Reddit, all that type of stuff. What I essentially had to do was select the mission as a mission, the waiting mission, because it just sits there and it just says wait for your car to get repaired. I had to select it and then I restarted my game and then I made it so that it just went through a 24-hour period, like the time jump or whatever, and it worked. That was like the really only issue that I've had with it, besides the standard sandstorm one, where you all of a sudden load your game and there's just like a huge sandstorm that you didn't ask for, like in the city, like
oh,
not where it. Yeah, that's a
I
one
didn't have
too.
that. That would have been funny
Yeah,
to find.
You know
yeah,
what's funny?
it's weird.
That
Go ahead.
waiting bug, I remember having that when the game first came out for me. I remember having to do the exact same thing, select it, and then do a 24-hour cycle. That's hilarious. It's still there.
Yeah, and it's other than that, the game, besides somebody maybe just like walking weirdly, there's significant less pedestrian weirdness, and
Mhm.
everybody kind of looks like they're actually doing something or semi something in the game. Some of the bizarre areas are like have more life in them. Um, and Barry, to kind of just piggyback what you said, they did create an amazing world between the shards that you could choose to read or not. I read certain shards. I don't like the cyber psychosis missions.
Mhm.
I love those shards because I want to know why they ended up getting crazy. So between all that type of stuff and just even the gigs and some of the side stuff, there's all these small stories going on in the city. It's really kind of a sight to behold. It's really fun to play it again, and I realized why I liked it in the first place, despite the bugs. I'm interested to pick your brain, Barry, on when to start the Phantom Liberty DLC because I want to start it, but I don't want to start it too early. I got the prompt for the mission that does start it over with the
Dog eat dog.
what. Yes, exactly. So I got that prompt. I'm not touching it for a bit because I'm not. I mean, I'm still a ways away from the close to the end of the main story.
So in Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, there are some boss battles. And here's one of my friends was trying to do a stealth build, and that doesn't really work in boss battles if we're being honest. So
Yeah.
uh just keep in mind, like, i I started Phantom Liberty probably I'd say you could start it around 30-35 to start, just because you have enough points in different areas to be able to adapt to any situation you have. That's what I would go with, just because getting a Sandetta stand is some of the most fun you can have in this game, just with like slowing down time. There's a cool clip of someone in a boss battle. He activates his slow down time effect. He just like creates like 40 throwing knives in a circle, and then the Zen stops and the boss is instantly killed. I thought
Wow,
that like
that's
it's
cool.
one of those cool things that the game lets you do if you're overpowered.
Mhm.
If you want to be overpowered, start it at level 45 or 50. But if you want like it does scale to you, so there is some sort of challenge, I think, no matter what. It's just a matter of the gear you come in with. And Phantom Liberty is a really good DLC. Idris Elba's performance in this is good. I wish it just added some more to the base game other than an ending. I was really hoping that there was going to be another romanceable option as well. There is not,
Not
but
Idris. Damn.
yeah, he can't kick. He
That's
probably
the only
wouldn't
way I'd
allow
be
it.
able to.
Yeah,
Ugh.
he probably didn't allow it. But other than that, like that's where I would start with it. Is get to those levels so that you can kind of adapt because some of these your a stealth build is not going to work for some of these boss battles. Some of it is like Adam Smasher wise, you're not hiding
You're not
from him.
stealthing.
Yeah, you're not stealthing Adam Smasher. You need to do damage, and you can't. You the glass cannon build can work, but you just have to realize these enemies hit just as hard as you do,
Yeah.
and their health is a lot more than you'll ever have.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Cyberpunk 2077.
Now's the time to
Again,
play it.
yeah,
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
gonna I'm gonna get finished with this, and then I'll give everybody an update on where I am with my backlog right now. Uh,
Yes.
I have I'm kind of bent to I'm not going to finish Control most likely. I'm
Okay.
gonna so I have watched a cutscene movie of Alan Wake and Control explaining both of
Okay.
these storylines the best they can, just like people do with Kingdom Hearts. If people can do it with Kingdom Hearts, I can do it with Alan Wake and Control.
Yep.
So after I'm done Cyberpunk 2077, I am going straight to
Sweet. There you go.
to Alan Wake 2 or
Let's
Pandora.
go.
And
And
you'll
this
probably finish Alan Wake before Craig does.
I'm on chapter 6. I'm on chapter 6. There's still some time though.
You got
I get,
about a couple weeks left to finish that bad boy off.
yeah. And I love that game, by the way. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I just had to say that. Just been stagnant with it.
Yeah. Remnant 2.
all three of us have played Remnant 2. Like
Yep.
if I talked about
Yep.
it last week. So yeah, what are your guys' feelings? We haven't played together yet, which we
Not
will.
yet. I
But
did the intro mission, and then I went around the town to get all my pick what I want to be. I went with like the whatever, like the marksman build is what I picked, long
Okay.
range, but with the ability to shoot health at people because I figured that'd be nice when we all play together that I can just
yeah,
like shoot health at you
I
guys.
I picked that too. The health
Dang
thing.
it! Oh, okay. Well
No,
then,
I
yeah.
picked the health thing.
And I originally that's where I stopped, but then I was like, you know what? I want to do like let me go into like the first area and really get into it because you don't really get much from that intro. It's
no,
very like, all right, kill a couple people. I mean, to me, it's like, all right, I'm playing a Souls like with guns, and that's cool. Like I enjoy. It's a good feeling. I think the guns feel good. The
yeah, I'm
the
really surprised with how that.
They
Yeah,
do.
the dodge feels adequate. My only issue, and we were talking before we returned, is before we started recording, is the dungeon area that I'm in. Like, I don't know what to do, so I need to like look it up. I guess I was unaware that you start in different ones. Like, we were not all in the same one, but I just I've gone around like multiple times and I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do. So once I figure that out, I feel like I'll be more on a roll. But what I've played so far, besides that, I like it. It's better than the first one by a long shot. And I could see it easily being a game that I drop 60 hours into,
yep,
honestly.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the kind of the game you play with your friends. I
Yeah.
was not paying attention to the story. I got kind of like a Last of Us vibe in the beginning with the whatever friends you were traveling with. It looked like a
Yeah.
similar city even to like as like a
Yeah.
copy and paste from Last of Us
you're
or
not
Last
wrong.
of Us 2. But you walk around in the intro area, you talk to a bunch of people, like a lot of games. It felt a little bit like boring at that part, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but like you said, the guns feel great. It felt even hard in the intro area. I don't know about you, but during that first boss battle or whatever that thing was that wasn't a normal enemy, I died. It was just that you had that person there to revive you.
Right.
Whoever those two knight in shining armor people that come in to save you. As you could tell, I'm not really paying much attention to the story, but
I
what
don't
I
think you
saw,
need to.
yeah, I think it's just one of those games. I have games like that that I don't. I'm playing Honkai Star Rail. You know how much clicking I do through that story? I'm still playing that, by the way, guys. By the
Yeah, I mean, I'm like half paying attention to this game.
yeah,
It's
whatever.
I pay attention to it as much as I pay attention to any Souls, like whether it's even Lies of P. I mean, I know the story in Lies of P, but like I was skipping through stuff, and when I was going around that town in the beginning, I was like, I don't
Yep.
care.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, just let me go. And like, where am I? I don't know, but I'm supposed to go find some boss, I guess. Cool. Let me go do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I mean, it's a good thing when even playing by myself, I'm still having a good time. Like that. That's I'm like,
Agreed.
okay, if I'm having fun by myself, then with people is also going to be that much more fun.
Yep.
Um, and I feel like the enemies, I've only seen a couple enemies so far, but they're cool enough.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's more variety out there. I'm assuming there is. I'm fighting a bunch of robots right now, but yeah, I like it so far.
So you and I have started in the same world then.
Okay, the little white
Oh,
robots,
Yes.
like and the little flying robots. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
what
Okay.
class did you pick, Barry?
I am, I guess, the equivalent of like a tank.
Okay.
I am the
The big
armored
guy.
class crusader
What'd you
or
pick,
something.
Craig?
I'm the guy with the dog. We
Sweet.
all
Look at
picked it.
that.
Sick. We got a well-rounded team. I
That's
like
what
it.
I like to hear.
Fantastic.
But yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
far so good. I look forward to playing that with a bunch, and I feel like that could be a game that could hinder us completing our backlog in like January and February, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also, I guess speaking of team-based games, we talk about Suicide Squad, right?
Well
Everybody
done.
wants to know
Suicide
about Suicide
Squad.
Squad.
You have
Let's
the
go.
transitions this week.
Okay.
Yeah, you are on it.
If I could boil it down now, as far as like the alpha goes, they give you the intro that has you control all four characters and how they move around, and then it does give you the first mission, which deals with the Flash and all that kind of stuff. Now, what I will say, if you can boil it down to its essence, is we're going to be okay with this game. We're going
I
to be
would
okay.
good. Yes.
Yep. Here's
That's what I was hoping for.
here's what I enjoy. Now, what I like is that all the characters at their core are the same. You have a gun, you have a melee type attack, and you have a way to get around vertically and quickly. Um, Now, like Harley Quinn, she is pretty much Batman from the Batman games. She has the grappling hook. She has Batman's grappling hook. And the way they explain how they get their stuff makes sense. I know it's kind of in the trailer there where they just kind of they go into the Justice League, the Hall of Justice, and there's like a glass case with all these items, and then they just take one, which is Suicide Squad. You know what I mean? Like that's literally what they would do. But she has the grappling gun and Batman's drone, and whenever you use it, the drone flies out in front of you. You shoot your grappling, and then you swing on it and let go, and it flies out ahead of you again, and you can really get momentum going that way. Um, One of them has a jetpack. Uh, the one has the boomerang, obviously, but it allows him to like I forget what they call it. It's like reality bending or something where he like zips where it goes, and then King
Mhm.
Shark can just jump really high because he's King Shark. Um, I enjoy all of them. I think they all have their pluses and minuses. The shooting feels good. What I enjoyed was when you're doing the intro and they're teaching you everything. It's very like, all right, here's how you shoot. If you're looking at like my favorite was Deadshot, right? Like he was to me, I was like, this guy is probably who I'm going to use in the game.
Mhm.
So he's got his normal shooting. I'm shooting people. I'm jumping around on my jetpack. But then they start introducing other things. So kind of along the lines of like a bullet storm where they want you to go fast. If you shoot the enemies in the legs enough times, it'll give you an option to press the right trigger, and then that'll do a shield shot, and which will kill them and drop shields for you to pick up. So you're constantly being incentivized to move, 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 shoot. When they're shooting at you, you can also press right trigger when it appears. There's like a red around them, and it's a counter. So you're countering their shot by shooting them, and then it like shoots them up in the air. If you get close, you can melee, and then if you immediately melee and then aim with the left trigger, it's like he'll hit them up in the air, and then it'll snap your trigger to them, and you can shoot them in the air till they die. It's very, very fast, but it feels good. The story, from what I saw, I enjoyed. It's a Rocksteady game, so like it has that humor, that good, like, I don't know, something about it feels good to me. So I think this game is going to be better with friends, especially if you can find 3 other ones. There's a heavy emphasis on it, but I did play through the first mission by myself, and I had plenty of fun. And then I played through with 3 other random people, and I had just as much fun.
Cool.
So I think if you want to play this game by yourself, like a normal rock steady game, you can. But if you want to play through with friends, like if we all want to get on there, I think we'd have a good time. So I feel a lot better having played the game. I'm definitely like, it's on my list to get now.
Okay.
Unless they totally mess it up after the first mission. I think the steady stream of superheroes that you're fighting is going to be entertaining. Um, the only thing that's just weird to me is no hand to hand combat. I'm so used to that in those games. And now
Yeah.
switching it to like a shooter, you're just like, oh, this is a little jarring, but it works. So for sure, I think we're going to be all right with this game. I really do.
That's good news because I was worried
Mhm.
That
for
is
it, and
good news.
Yeah.
yeah, wanted to be able to play it. So, did you have any other thoughts on Remnant 2 that you wanted to add to it, Craig?
Which one, me or Craig?
You.
You.
Um, super excited to play with you guys. I like I said, I do like the feel of it, and it looks like it's going to be tough, which is what I'm really intrigued by. Is like I would consider the 3 of us seasoned gamers. Um, and we do enjoy a Souls like every now and then, you know.
Yep.
So I'm interested to kind of see how the difficulty matches our teamwork as well, which is why I'm happy that the 3 of us actually chose a different class without even texting each other. By the way, there's only
Yeah.
4 classes, and we all chose a different one, instinctively, maybe, or is it destiny? You know, so
Does remind me a little bit of Destiny.
Yeah, I feel a little bit of Destiny bit there too. Uh, well, let's go ahead and get into movies and TV shows this week. Where, uh, at behest of you both, I
Yeah.
have watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World,
Hey, the movie?
and yes, the movie.
Okay.
let's go.
And then I binged all of Blue Eye Samurai in the matter of
He was the first one to finish it. How hilarious is
12
that?
Oh my!
hours.
I'm on
Uh,
Yes.
7. I'm on
yeah,
episode 7.
yeah. In a matter of
Oh
12
my god!
hours, I finished Blue Eye Samurai. What did
Good
you guys
job.
Wow.
watch?
um, so yeah, I'm on episode 7 of Blue Eyed Samurai, almost done. It's Christmas season, so I watched Candy Cane Lane, which just came out on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I watched the documentary Bye Bye Barry, the Barry Sanders one.
Oh, I'm interested to see what you think of that.
Hmm?
Um, well, I have the least watched amount of content this week. I watched Exorcism Believer or
Hey,
Exorcist Believer. So
okay.
All right. To start, let's start with the oldest out of all of this stuff would be Scott Pilgrim.
Hmm.
Uh, movie's kind of like a fever dream in a way.
Yeah, it is.
It was strange in a lot of good ways. Uh, there are definitely parts of this movie where like Michael Cera's character, I'm like, could you just like stop being weird?
Yep.
Like everyone else in this movie, I think is like fun. Like I enjoy everyone in this movie, but Michael Cera's character is the only one I'm like, could you just stop, just like for a second? Um, I was surprised to like see some of like actors that I know now, like younger, like Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Uh, Vegan giving you psychic powers, I thought was funny.
that's
Uh,
hilarious. Yeah.
Yep.
Chris Evans, uh,
Yep. As the action
uh,
hero.
as the action hero. A
Yep.
lot of it is a lot of the movie just felt like a fever dream, in a lot of ways. Because I have to say, in the beginning, I was like, I hate Scott. Scott
Hmm.
Scott's 22 dating a 17-year-old that's going to
Yeah.
Catholic school. Everything's wrong with
Yep.
this. They seem like they're fine, but you can tell Scott's just looking for a rebound. I feel bad for Knives. Knives deserves
Knives is the
better.
best.
Knives
Knives is so
and
good.
Knives gets better,
Mm-hmm.
you
She
know,
does.
for
She
her.
does. The
Yep.
Uh,
blue streak.
yeah, punched out the highlights out of her.
Yep.
Um, yeah, the movie is a strange, strange fever dream. And
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Would I watch it again? I probably won't. Um,
Man, I probably watched that movie like 50 times.
Yeah,
yeah,
same here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. For me, like I love everything. I like everything about the movie other than Michael Cera's character, and the whole movie
Which
centers around him.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Did
that's
you
what gets me. So it's like
did you
I will watch clips of the movie probably for sure. Um, but in the beginning, Sarah's character is so just I hate it. He's
Yeah,
so I hate him
He's
so much.
he's a loser.
he
He's
is
Yeah.
a
supposed to
loser.
be. Yeah.
Did you like
His
the
roommate's best. I love his roommate.
yeah,
I
oh
love yeah,
Wallace.
Wallace.
Wallace is
Wallace
Wallace,
is
Wallace is
great.
amazing. Yeah,
young
Wallace
Neil.
is
Yeah.
young Neil.
Young Neil's great.
Did you
Knives
like
is great.
did you like the Thomas Jane cameo arresting the vegan when he ate
Yep.
I did too.
What about the for me, like the highlights were always the way he convinced Chris Evans to Tony Hawk it down the rails to and he
Yeah.
died. I liked Knives and Scott's like DDR boss battle. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool. I just like the whole thing is set up like a video game. And I just
Yeah,
Yeah,
think
the
it works really
that's
well.
what it is. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really what it
the
is.
video game aspects of it are cool because it's obvious, in the very beginning. I think the literal tune in the beginning is the Zelda is the Zelda kind of theme
Hmm.
intro portion there. So I like that aspect of it, and I like how kind of wonky and zany it is because in a world where I'm supposed to be able to kind of guess what happening is next in the movie, I didn't know what was going to happen next. I didn't
Yeah.
think the fight between Chris Evans was going to end in him going down,
See.
Tony Hawking it down a
Yep.
rail. And
Yep.
the
Yeah.
one where he has to touch the back of the girl's knee,
Yes.
like
Yes.
that was
That's
It's
so good.
fantastic. Fantastic.
Did
It's her
you
weakness.
did you like the uppercut too? Just like the uppercut. I think you'll like the series because the series is definitely more anime. And like what I learned is like they had so much fun on set, all of them together, that they kept an email chain so that what is this, 15 years later or
Yeah.
whatever? 15 years later, when they were like, hey, we want to do a series, everybody is voicing their character
Yep.
in the new one. So I don't know. Maybe try an episode of the new thing.
oh,
If
I'm
you're
gonna
looking for
watch the
something
new thing.
More
Absolutely.
more of an emphasis on the other characters too than
also
Scott. Yeah.
exactly.
Yep. He's kind of a backseat.
He is kind of a backseat.
Which I
Mhm.
think that makes me think I'm gonna like it a lot more.
You
Yeah.
probably will. Yeah, you probably
You
will.
get a lot more Patel,
Yeah.
which that's funny. You didn't read the email? What email? Just like, where he
Yep.
challenges him to.
Yep. Either he just deletes the email. Boop.
Yeah. But
I'm
yeah.
glad you watched it, Barry. I'm glad.
Yeah, same.
You guys told me to watch it. I try to watch what
Yep.
you guys tell me to.
Yeah, but how about Blue Eyed Samurai, Barry?
And
Yes.
Blue Eyed Samurai,
Blue-eyed samurai
very
doe.
very quickly up in my top 10 for this year.
It's
Absolutely,
crazy.
without a question.
Yep.
I am constantly surprised. Like the series is just a good old fashioned fun samurai tale, but I guess kind of the twist on it is it keeps you're the main character. Her name starts with an M.
It's funny that I don't remember.
I almost want to say it's Maze.
It could be. Let's
My
see.
Zen. Man,
me
I feel
see.
so bad for.
gonna
It
look.
feels like a fever dream watching, because like there's
Mizu.
Mizu. Whoops.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. It was
Mizu.
It was an M. Mizu. Like I just like her whole character arc for the entire film. Ringo is a fun, not annoying side character,
It's great.
which I did not expect.
He's from
And
Heroes. If throw back to Heroes from back in the day, the voice
oh,
actor.
okay.
Oh, wait, is he one of the hero that, oh, what's his name? The one that could teleport?
Yep.
That's him?
I believe so. No, it's I forget how to say his name too. His name's like Masiori Oka, but he was in Heroes. Hero.
Okay.
His name is literally Hero in Heroes.
Oh,
Yes, I love
Hmm.
that guy.
Yeah, he's
That's why
great.
that's why I love that character. I like that.
Uh-huh.
I like his presentation and his voice.
There's a lot of people in the show that like as I was watching it and listening to it, I was like, that name sounds familiar. Like Randall Park's in there. He's like the assistant to the villain, the main villain. And I was like,
oh,
I know
okay.
that's Randall Park. I know
The one
that voice
that's the
anywhere.
one that's trying to get him to do all those
Yep.
activities while he kept
Yep.
him away for a decade. He's
Yep.
like, but I wanted that painting.
Yep. I just wanted it. I was gonna hang it up. I don't know. It's that
Yeah,
animation style for me is incredible.
yeah.
It is.
There's a lot of fun animation style. Episode 5 is by far my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Of the tale of the tale of, I guess, the.
No spoilers. I didn't get there yet.
No, I'm just
Just
trying
in
to think
case.
of
Yeah.
what the title is.
No, it's
Um,
it's like backstory. That whole episode's kind of backstory, right? But it's done so well.
it's a backstory episode with ties to what's going on
Right. Right.
in the brothel. So there it is. It is. I can't recommend it enough. The animation is done, and it's one of those things where it is made by the English by United States. So it's one of those things where like the lip matching matches, which is kind of
Yep.
nice. I usually don't get that a lot when watching something animated or Japanese wise. So
Yeah.
it is such a good story. Um, Even until episode 7 and 8, you're still this story is still unraveling itself in a very good way. Um, I love a Kemi's storyline as well. It is all a lot of fun,
Yep.
and I really hope. I don't know if it'll get nominated for anything, just because it feels like it's too late in the season, and maybe like there's probably a cutoff date of sometime in November, depending on when it actually came out. When I actually watched it, but Blue Eye Samurai is just so much fun. It is everything I love about like a samurai show
Yep.
slash movie.
Yep. I feel like there's such good build up to that when you actually get to some sort of scene where like she's just killing like 30 people, like the payoff is so good. And she never gets out of anything unscathed, which kind of I like that it's
Yeah.
like it's grounded. Like, yeah, she killed 30 people, but she got stabbed twice, or you know what I mean, or something like that. But man, when she kills people, it's like ruthless.
Yeah.
Like,
It
oh,
is.
there goes a head. Oh, there goes an arm. Oh, that guy just got cut in half. You know what I mean? Like, just not messing around. Which I know, like, I don't watch a lot of like anime stuff, and like to me, that was almost a little jarring. I was like, woof. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's normal for anime, but like that, like in your face graphic, like that dude is literally cut in half. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's
Well,
normal.
you can do that in this medium, like with
Right.
CGI and the way it's animated in 3D. You can do like the whole limb cutting
Yep.
off, and
Yeah. You
it
can.
doesn't look janky. Where in
Right.
anime, because it's 2D and it's all hand drawn and stuff like that, you can't do it to this extent. So
Hmm.
That's a good point.
that's what makes this kind of fresh, gory series really refreshing.
Yeah. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, and then it's very artistic and poetic at a lot of times too. Like going back to that gore. I'm forgetting the group, but remember that four samurai group that was chasing her?
The Four
Hmm.
Fangs.
The Four
Hmm.
Fangs, thank you. Yeah, and how she was descending that cliff and killing them
Yep.
was actually believable, and for me very artistic in how it was done. How she would catch herself,
Yeah.
how somebody else would advance, and then also a tie-in back to the her childhood or her growing up with the blacksmith, the blind one, and who that actually was. Um, so
Yeah.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a cool show for sure. It might end up in my top 10. We'll see. Let's see. Candy Cane Lane. It's Christmas season, everybody. I,
It's
I think I'm on.
Christmas.
I think I've what? All right, so we're recording on the 3rd. I think I've watched 4 Christmas movies so far. I'm a little ahead
Well
of
done.
schedule. I'm
Okay.
trying to watch one a day, usually at night, like before I go to bed. Candy Cane Lane. Eddie Murphy. Um, I like this movie. It's so like it's your typical like corny, cheesy Christmas movie. He's recently laid off from work, and everybody in his area development. They all decorate for Christmas, and it turns out that like, all right, whoever has the best decorated house is going to get $150,000 is like the premise. So he goes to this
That is a
Christmas.
rich people neighborhood.
Oh, it's definitely a
Yeah.
rich people neighborhood, 100%. But he ends up finding like this shop that is selling Christmas decorations. He goes to that's run by. I have to look her up because I always forget her name, but she is from Workaholics. Um, oh man, hold on one second, because
Is she
I
the
don't.
one that is she the one that works with them? Like
Yeah,
the
Jillian
okay,
Bell. Jillian
okay,
Bell.
she's funny.
She's hilarious. So it's her shop, and he buys all this stuff. She has him sign a contract. Turns out she's an elf, but she's an elf that got thrown out of the North Pole because she was bad, I guess. But basically, the contract, he signs his contract for this gigantic thing he puts in his front yard so that he'll win the contest. But the contract says that he has to find, if you know the song, 5 golden rings by Christmas Eve, or he turns into like a glass sculpture, basically. It's hilarious and super corny, and it's just exactly what I want out of a Christmas movie. Just like stupid, fun. Like you don't have to think. It's got the stupid, corny ending with one of my favorite Santa Claus portrayals of all time, and Mr. David Allen Greer. I love David Allen Greer. He's great.
He's
And him as
timeless.
Santa Claus, oh my God, it was hilarious. I was like, that is a perfect pick for Santa Claus. That man
Yeah,
gets it. But there's other like Nick Offerman voices a character, and there's a lot of people in this movie. If you know Pentatonics, they voice characters and sing throughout the entire movie. I just think it's a good family movie for Christmas. It'll probably end up on my like I have my Halloween rotation. I also have my Christmas rotation. This will probably end up in there because I feel like there isn't enough Christmas movies out there that I rewatch every year,
yeah.
other than like your staples. But this one might end up going in there. So if you haven't watched that, it's on Amazon Prime. You can go check that out. It's a good time. Bye Bye Barry, that also dropped I think this week.
Hmm.
Barry Sanders was like one of my favorite NFL players growing up. He was on such a bad team, but I always just enjoyed like he's also a staple of my Thanksgiving because I feel like every
Oh
Thanksgiving
yeah,
growing up you
the
watch
Lions
Barry
played.
Sanders. Yep. He's always been a weird dude though, and I appreciate that like you kind of get to understand why he was so weird and why he just randomly retired when he still had a good probably 4 or 5 years left and was so close to breaking the rushing record. It's just very interesting to see his thought process where he just does not care about records. He hates being in the limelight, all of that stuff. He's just very introverted. He just wants to like, let me go out and run the ball and score a touchdown and let me go sit on the bench and don't talk to me. It's just a different style of NFL player that you don't really see as much anymore. I thought it was fascinating. Like he's such an interesting dude that I was just like, this is a cool documentary, and I'm glad somebody thought to be like, we should talk to Barry Sanders because I feel like he's starting to get forgotten, and he's like one of the greatest running backs of all time.
Yeah,
Literally, yeah.
Like
probably would be the
literally,
greatest if
he would
not
have been
retired
it,
early.
but again, he doesn't care. He does not care about records. He doesn't want them. They have a whole thing about like, um, there was a he was the MVP of the team every year, and one of his teammates took the trophy because he left it, and the entire year he kept trying to give it back to Barry Sanders, and he just wouldn't take it home because he didn't want it. He just wanted to play and go do his own thing. So definitely check that out too. It's a good hour and a half watch. It's pretty cool.
I respect that because, like, if you think of any sports ball player
Sports ball.
now, even introverted ones still tend to be extroverted because of the limelight and the
Mhm.
internet and how quickly accessible they are. Because, like, I would consider like Jason Kelsey a
Yeah,
introverted guy, a guy who just wants to do his thing, and yet he still has a podcast and also a documentary out about him because he happens to have a brother who's also as famous as well, more famous, but also plays
yeah,
football. I don't know. I think that's interesting. I might check that out.
yeah. It's a good one.
And now the
Exorcist
scary
believe
movie.
yeah.
Yes.
Now the scary movie in December, Exorcist Believer.
Doesn't
Um,
match with my review. Let's see.
I wonder because I don't remember everything you said in your review. It
Sure.
was a while back, but I my wife and I both enjoyed this movie. And I'll tell you why. Because Exorcist Believer, number one, it is an hour and 45 minutes to an hour and 50 minutes. It is a fully what I would say, especially compared to other scary movies, fully fleshed out scary movie. It is a slow burn till you actually get to what you would consider maybe a scary parts, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, it takes a while for the exorcist, or sorry, it takes a while for the possession to even happen, so to speak. It starts out almost like a missing child or a missing
Yeah.
persons film for like 45 minutes or so. Like these girls are gone for a bit. Um, but what I like is that even though there wasn't a ensemble cast in there of like a lot of names that you would just be able to pick out from a crowd, there's enough character development in the movie where once stuff starts going down, you actually care.
Yeah.
Either because you love the character or actually have had enough content to hate the character. Um, it's two families that are together only because both of their daughters disappeared and came back and were possessed. And I don't know, it worked. It really, really worked. As far as rewatchability, because it is an hour and 45 minutes scary movie, I don't know how much you're gonna watch it within a year.
Yeah.
It's gonna work its way onto our rotation. Um, between both families having different dynamics in the family, they bring back some characters from the original Exorcist, which fits.
Yeah.
And you could probably guess because there's not an insane amount of characters in the original Exorcist, especially ones that survived. So you probably know who's coming back. But it was a great combination of build up. There was enough tense moments, and it's actually, I think it's a movie Barry can watch. There's not a jump scare. There's not a lot of jump scares. The girls act a little weird before it's noticed that there's something wrong with them, and that could probably make you feel unnerved. But
Yeah.
this is not a hand in front of your face scary movie. It's not. But
No.
I think it's done well.
Do you not remember that movie, like, I
I
the
Yeah,
don't. Yeah,
the
preview of
you
that
trailer
were
movie,
scared him.
traumatized.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like, the trailer got me. I was
I
done with the movie from there.
I that first 45 minutes where it's like missing children, where'd they go? That's what drew in my wife, because I was watching it and I would not tell her what movie I was watching. So she like sat down and started watching it. She's like, "What is this?" And then she was in, and like she hates the Exorcist movies. And she did not like the ending at all. Like the Exorcist part, she was like terrified.
Yeah. It gets
Hmm.
there's some pretty tense moments.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a group like
Yeah.
trying to do it, and this doesn't necessarily ruin because I'm not going to tell you who's in the group, but like it's cool.
Yeah.
And there's some there I like, I don't know, the characters really got developed enough for me. And outside of the people who it directly afflicted, which would be the families themselves. So
Right.
I consider giving it a watch. It is free. What did I watch it on? I think it was Max. No, Peacock.
I think it's on
Mac.
Peacock. Yeah.
I think it's Peacock.
Hmm.
So it's on Peacock. Definitely give it a watch. I don't think you'll regret it. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
just in time for Christmas.
Yes. Nothing says
Yeah,
Christmas like
yeah,
an
I imagine.
Exorcist.
Yeah, exactly. Put a bow on
Yeah, but that's all I watched.
it.
All right, so we'll go ahead and end the podcast here. I want to thank everybody for listening. If you feel so inclined, please make sure to share it on your podcast listening platform of choice and leave a review on there as well, or a thumbs up or a star, whatever it is on the podcast listening platform of choice. If you're on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe and comment on how The Exorcist is a Christmas movie.
I don't know about that.
Somehow, it's not a Christmas movie. No Christmas, no
No.
snow or anything.
No, no snow.
Darn.
No snow at
Takes
all.
place in the summer, I think.
Don't
It does.
then don't leave anything about that. But again, thanks everybody for watching. We always appreciate your support. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See ya.
Bye, guys.